Shelby 79, Gayan 53. We'll have highlights of both of those ball games coming up here later in the show. And Upper Sandusky 63, Tiffin Columbian 59. And then the one we're going to talk about here shortly, and that's Bucyrus 77, Bellevue 64. At that ball game, Rusty Smith, who joins me now.
Very good ball game, as many as had expected. Now, the last 5 years, the visiting team in this series has won on the road. So River Valley coming in tonight with an opportunity to make it 6 in a row, but it was not to be, as the Royals, they just came out and they played real intense, intensity-driven basketball. They wanted the North Central Conference Championship outright. They didn't want to share it with anybody. And like they have done all season long, it was very businesslike, and they got the job done. You know, jumped out to a big lead. River Valley came back, took a 3-point lead at the half, and then after 3, and then the final spurt belonged to the Royals. And let's just go to the story. Well, there was more than just one crowning tonight at the House of Thrills. Senior Kathleen Ramsey was crowned homecoming queen for 1989. Here she is, all glitter above, along with her escort, Phil Crosso. As for the game itself, Wynford came out hot in the first quarter. Mike McGuire on the run hits the jumper from 18. Mack had 10 in the quarter. Then Rodney Noblet buried a pair of three-pointers as the Royals jumped out to a 22-14 advantage after 1. Valley switched to a triangle and 2 in the second quarter to effectively shut down the duel. While they climbed back into it with solid bench play, Mike Axline with a follow-up. He had 4 in the quarter. Then Chris Fillions off the bench nails a three-pointer from the top of the key as the Vikings took a 3-point lead at the break. It was 53-47 Valley in the fourth when Wynford put on the final spurt of the ball game. McGuire buries a three-pointer to give the Royals a 3-point lead. Then the inside game. ShaneGrove with a solid move around Axline for the deuce off the glass, and the Royals went up on top for good as they sink the clutch free throws down the home stretch. The final 72-62. McGuire had 30 points in the ballgame. Rodney Noblet had 13. Celebration night in Royal Country as the Royals win their 3rd consecutive North Central Conference Championship, the 2nd in a row outright with a perfect 9-0 record. Very nice job.
Outstanding. And tournament time for them always means something special, Rob Shelby. But first, they've got 2 toughies.
Yeah, they got Shelby and Lexington.
Yeah, and Lexington has put the old foot in the backside of Wynford last couple of years. We'll see how they handle that this year.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. They are one team that can force Wynford out of the perimeter game. At least they've done that the last 2 years. And Lexington is one of the top-notch teams in the area, so it should be interesting, especially at their place with a bigger floor.
Right. Did you have a chance to talk to Rob tonight?
Well, let me give some stats first.
Okay.
For the Royals, McGuire had 30, Noblet 13, Crosso 13, and ShaneGrove had 10. Crosso and ShaneGrove really stepped up in the fourth quarter, and as one of the Royals took control of the contest. And by the way, last week McGuire had his troubles from the free throw line. Tonight he was 8 of 8, all in the fourth quarter, and that kind of put the game on ice for them. Adam Ginther had 16 points for River Valley. Mike Axline came off the bench. He had 12. Those were the only 2 in double figures for them. And as he said, we did have a chance to talk to Coach Sheldon. Here it is. Welcome back with head coach Rob Sheldon. Coach, for the 2nd straight week, congratulations. And this one is very much sweeter because you win it outright this year.
Yeah, that's a real great thing for my kids, Tony. This is the first time we've went through the league undefeated since I've been here. You know, we've won 4 or 5 league championships since I've been here, but this is the first time we've been through undefeated.
You know, you showed a lot of intensity. It came out and built up an 8-point lead after 1. They came out and switched to a triangle and 2, did a real nice job on both Mack and Rodney Noblet, and led after 3 quarters. But then in the fourth quarter, I thought it was your pressure defense that maybe made the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, you know, we started out man-to-man, and we went to some zones when they started shooting a little bit poorly, and they went to the triangle, and we just stopped executing, Tony. We got in a hurry in the half-court sets, and we weren't setting good screens. And one of the things we talked about at halftime was slowing things down a little bit to get us, you know, get the ball to the people that need to get it to. And the other thing we wanted to do was kick it indoors second half. We didn't feel like we played real well in the first half in the low post. We were out-rebounded on, according to our stats, 17-10 at halftime. And I'm not sure how many points Grove and Crosso got, but I think if you look at Grove, Crosso, Greenick, and Gregory in the second half, we outplayed their big kids in the second half.
The next thing was a contribution that Ray Greenick and Rob Gregory had off the bench for you tonight.
Yeah, they really did a nice job for us. You know, we got down 6 early in the fourth quarter, and we inserted Robbie to give us a little bit more scoring and a little bit better passing angle into the low post. And Robbie did a nice job of filling that role. He did get a key offensive rebound and stuck it back in, and you know, and plus he gave us a little bit of height in the defense, and that's where we went full court got a few steals, and just switched it over, and we made some foul shots. We're pretty good.
I was just going to say a big difference this week.
We're pretty good when we don't sit into all those good-looking students at Colonel Crawford. You know, Matt kept staring up at the one blonde, and that's probably why he didn't shoot it too
well. He always was off to the left there. Well, is this one any sweeter than the other ones that you have now, or is there any special reasoning for this one?
You know, I guess I'm getting old, Tony. We expected this when we came into the season. This was a veteran basketball team, you know. Goals were an NCC championship, a 20-win season, and, you know, some tournament success. So, you know, you really got to hand it to those 7 kids because we had nothing but pressure on us all year long because we were chosen by everybody to win. And, you know, to be chosen to do it and then go out and do it is a great accomplishment. And, you know, my kids deserve all the credit.
Very nice job, well done.
And,
like I said, that was their focus going in, you know, to win the NCC. They're 2 victories away from a 20-game season, which would be in 3rd in a row, and they'll get that through the tournaments.
Well, I wouldn't know why you'd say that. They opened with Mohawk and then go on the crest line. Although Mohawk played them tough, you know, first time in Mohawk.
They still have Shelby and Lexington. They can get it by the time regular season. Well, I think they're 17-1. Yeah, they're 18 games. They got 2 more left. Yeah. By the way, before I leave, I want to wish you best of luck.
I'll need it, Gary Vaughn, top bowler in Bucyrus right now. 299
right?
last night. It's like, 2 and out. I'll be able to call the finals.
2 and out.
We're looking.
Well, that's confidence, I tell you.
Didn't end there. Farmer Citizen Bank TV54 sponsored the Athletes of the Month, and they've been selected for January. And Wynford basketball player Kathleen Ramsey earned the Female Award by Bucyrus wrestler Sean McMillan.
On behalf of the Farmer Citizens Bank and TV54, we're again proud to present the Female Athlete of the Month for the month of January. Our Athlete of the Month is Kathleen Ramsey of Wynford High School. Kathleen is a basketball player at Wynford and has been an important part of the Lady Royals' success during the month of January, averaging 14 points a game and a season high of 23 against Bucyrus. The senior center finished among the conference leaders in several categories, including scoring, rebounding, shooting percentage, and free throws. All-conference first-teamer Kathleen also excels in the classroom with a 3.2 grade point average. So, again, on behalf of the bank and TV54, we're proud to present Kathleen with a plaque and also a pair of tickets to a Cleveland Cavaliers basketball game.
Thank you. I'd like to thank TV54 and the Farmer Citizens Bank. I'd also like to thank my parents and my coach and my teammates for making the month of
To you only on your local sports connection, TV54.
Welcome to the W.R. Donnerworth Gymnasium, where tonight on TV54, the Wynford Royals take on the River Valley Vikings in a North Central Conference showdown. The conference capper for both these teams, Wynford wins. They win the North Central Conference Championship outright. A River Valley win may create a 3-way tie. And you're looking at royalty tonight here at the House of Thrills. Kathleen Ramsey, the homecoming queen for the 1989 season, and along with Tricia Orweiler to her left and to her right, to your left, as if we swing to the left, and we can see the rest of the court here tonight on homecoming night here. And Jim, these 2 teams come down to this one again. The last 3 years it has, and it's been the visiting team that's come out on top. What kind of expectations do you have for tonight?
Well, Tony, this is the way the league should end up. It's been this way several years where the 2 top teams end up playing the last game, and we can say it's SRO again tonight. They're hanging from the rafters tonight. Okay, and looking at the 2 teams, both teams are somewhat similar. Look for River Valley to play a full court pressing defense and also a half court press defense. Talking to Coach Sheldon earlier, he fears somewhat matching up with them because of their size. They only have one player, the guard, Feder, under 6 feet. He stands 5'8", so they'll have tough time matching up with him. Look for it to be an up-tempo game. Don't be surprised if the final scores in the 70s or 80s. They're somewhat like Upper Sandusky. They like to get up and down the floor a lot. Wynford's having just a little troubles right now with their inside game, and Coach Sheldon, of course, feels that that's very, very important to get that inside game going tonight. So overall, it should be a spectacular ball game.
You know, Jim, you mentioned River Valley and the fact that they are a very quick team this year. You know, in the past they have been a very physical ball club, but this year they're relying on the full court, up-tempo style of game.
Right, and it's been to their advantage this year in several games. We noticed earlier a team that beat the Royals, the Rams. I think they were very victorious down there on their home court against the Rams and beat them by, 10 or 12 points, if I remember correctly then.
Well, if you're looking for some key matchups, here is one of them, Mike McGuire. He's averaging 27.9 points a game, the leader in the North Central Conference and in the area. Rodney Knobble at 14 points a game. Phil Crosso at 8.5, ShaneGrove at 10.9, Matt Johnson at 5.8. That is the starting five for the Royals. Now for the River Valley Vikings, Greg Mosier, who missed a couple of games throughout the season. A 6'2 senior averaging 11.5 for the Vikings under the guidance of Steve Freshour. Jay Woodruff is a 6'3 junior. He leads his team in scoring at 15 points a game. Adam Ginther at 10.1. Cliff Brandstetter, 6'1 senior, 9.5. And Adam Fetter, the 5'8 junior point guard at 6'1. So we are looking for a very exciting matchup. And if the JV game is any indication, it should be, well, the JV game was 57-43 in favor of the Wynford Royals. So congratulations to Mike Scheffner and his charges for pulling out a victory in the JV game. We're just about set for the introduction to the starting lineups and the opening tip-off. And tonight's game on TV 54 is being brought to you by the First Citizens National Bank, the New Rego Cafe, Struble Drugs, Beaver Office Products, Bill's TV and Appliance, Mansfield Typewriter, Geyer Supermarket, Starkey Glass, Wise Funeral Home, and Kime Lumber. And we appreciate the sponsors for bringing you high school basketball on TV 54. The opening lineup and the tip-off coming up right after we take this time out.
Watch this week's flyer. It's your guide to savings.
To the W.R. Donnerworth Gymnasium along with Jim Bauer, Tony Santana. You see our officials in the center of the screen. Who's the one nearest to us, Jim?
The one nearest us holding the basketball for the center jump is John Gurney, veteran official from Shelby, and his running mate tonight is Mike Davis, also experienced from Lexington.
And they'll do a good job. Both these officials are highly capable. At center court, it is Jay Woodruff and Phil Crosso. We're underway here and tip controlled by Mike McGuire. And the Royals on the attack first in this ball game. McGuire in the hands of Matt Johnson. Looks like Mac's going to have a chaser all night. Good defense out front. Coast to coast and missed the shot, but gets his own miss. Puts it back up and in is Jay Woodruff for the first 2 points of the ball game.
Here's the full court pressure. It's a 1-2-1-1. They'll double team at every opportunity.
Royals beat it left side, and last touch by River Valley, so Wynford gets a break. They'll get it underneath their own basket. Jim, we haven't seen too many teams put too much pressure on the Royals with the exception of Upper Sandusky.
Look for them to do it all night tonight, either full court or half court.
Now McGuire out front, being pressured by Fetter. That's a mismatch. Noblet has it go off his leg. Good defense once again by Adam Ginther, number 30.
Now we'll see the Royals playing a full court press also, 1-2-1-1.
And we're going to get a walk out front.
Both teams appear to be just a little tight first minute of the ball game. A couple of turnovers on both sides so far. There's another good shot of River Valley's full court press.
They double team Johnson in the corner. He gets away from it. McGuire on the run. Pulls up for the jumper. He's got it. Mack with the first two for the Royals. We're all tied up. 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. Now a double team and near steal by the Royals on the inbounds as ShaneGrove knocks it out of bounds. River Valley will get it back.
Tony, both teams are using almost identical presses here to start the game out with.
Brandstetter throws it too high, and it's turned over as Rodney Noblet for three. He's got it! That is a big confidence booster for that young man.
Yes, he's really hustled on defense, too. He almost came up with a near steal there.
How they get it into Adam Fetter, I should say. He dribbles around and sets up the offense. They try to go inside. McGuire with a steal. Then he hustles to keep it alive after he lost control of it. Johnson in the corner, down low to Grove. Can't find the handle on it. Loses it, goes out of bounds. River Valley will get it back. First substitution of the ball game off the River Valley bench. That is Mike Axline, a 6'4 junior, checking into the ball game.
Tony, we can't miss him because he'll be the biggest, second largest player on the floor. The difference in the presses here is that Wynford's guards are denying the ball to River Valley's.
And there's Axline with the ball. Now Adam Fetter dribbling around. Back out to Axline, inside to three. Boy, what a nice touch for the big guy.
Didn't take him long to get started.
Mike Axline, 2 points, 5-4. Wynford on top by 1. Now Noblet dribbling around in the backcourt. Head to McGuire. He'll pull up and knock it home for 14. Max got 4, and the backcourt has scored all 7 of Wynford's points as they lead by 3. 5:47 to go in the first quarter. Here come the Vikings, a 2-on-1. Nice pass as Ginther gets the 2 off the nice assist from Woodruff. 7-6. Here's that up-tempo game we were talking about. There's a bad pass as Johnson had it stolen away. The turnaround by Woodruff isn't there. McGuire pulls it out of the net. On the run from 18. He leaves it short. Mosier chases it down in the corner. He's double teamed. Oh, and they're going to say it was last touch by Wynford. Great double team down there.
Great pressure defense in the corner that time for the Royals.
Now Axline will inbound it to Adam Fetter. Back to Axline. In the center of the floor is a 3-on-2. Mosier will pull up. Missed his shot. Ginther with the rebound. Puts it back up and in.
If the Royals will be successful, they need to limit the Vikings to 1 shot from their fast break.
Vikings regain the lead on Ginther's fourth point of the ballgame at 8-7. 5:03 remaining in the first quarter.
Tony, you just wonder how long both teams can keep this tremendous full-court pressure defense up.
This may be one of the deepest River Valley teams that we've seen in a few years. We know it is for the Royals. McGuire goes baseline. Nice move. Too hard off the glass. Ball is knocked out, and it's Fetter who comes up with it. He'll slow it down to Axline in the paint. Nice cut by Greg Mosier for his first 2 points of the ballgame. 10-7, River Valley with a 3-point lead. Here come the Royals. McGuire off the glass and in. That was a tough shot.
McGuire used the backboard like a pro there.
Now Fetter with the ball as the Vikings lead by 1, 10-9. First quarter action on TV 54.
I thought perhaps the Vikings might come out with some special type of defense against McGuire. That's not the case so far.
Ginther with a nice move over Johnson. Soft touch in the lane for 2, and Adam Ginther is having a real nice game. He's got 6 points in the first quarter, 12-9. Here come the Royals back the other way. Noblet to Crosso from the free throw line, rolls around and comes out. And it's Woodruff with a rebound. Now Ginther will push it up the floor. Johnson hustles back. Ginther is fouled by Crosso in the paint. He'll go to the free throw line shooting 2.
Crosso stood his ground there, but the Vikings were successful in moving into Phil that time. Tony, this game keeps up, could come down to the last minute, like many games do it. Whoever has the last possession of the basketball.
Ginther's got 8, and it's a 5-point River Valley lead. Now Crosso back to Rodney Noblet. Double team. Dribbles around the double team and gets it in the hands of Phil Crosso. Royals trail by 5. Nice play inside. Johnson, ShaneGrove with a strong move off the glass and in for 2.
And that's the inside game that Coach Sheldon's been looking for.
14-11, River Valley with a 3-point lead as Grover gets his first 2 of the ballgame. Ginther to Woodruff. He loses it, and it's Noblet who comes up with it. Right side to Grover. Too hard off the glass, and it's last touch by River Valley, so Wynford gets a break. They'll get it back underneath their own basket. Cliff Brandstetter checks back into the ballgame, as does Ray Greenick. Ginther and Grove come out. 3:08 remaining in this first quarter. McGuire to Crosso from the baseline. Nice turnaround jumper for Phil Crosso. His first 2 points of the ballgame. Royals are back to within 1 at 14-13. They're going to need that inside play tonight, Jim.
Right, and the last 2 buckets have come from Grove and Grosso from the inside. This is what they need. You might add now both teams are playing zone defenses, combination zone defenses when they get back under the basket.
Good call by the official as Cliff Brandstetter walked with it.
We may see a lot of turnovers this evening, Tony, when you play a fast game like this.
Roddy Noblet ahead to Crosso, to Ray Greenick. Johnson, good ball movement by the Royals. McGuire's quadruple team still manages to get the deuce. He's got 8, and the Royals regain the lead with a 6-point run, 15-14. Now, Fetter to Brandstetter in the corner, back to Fetter. Brandstetter will pull up from the baseline, misses a shot. Greenick chases it down into the hands of McGuire, who almost has it stripped away by Woodruff. Ahead to Roddy Noblet. Oh, and Roddy's got another 3-pointer.
That was a fine rainbow shot that time by Noblet, almost out of our sight here.
You know, the amazing thing about that, Jim, is it looked to me as if he didn't even have control of the ball.
Right. He had the right spin on it. I believe River Valley is taking timeout, perhaps. Yes.
They do, and the House of Thrills is a rocket and a rolling with the 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It is Wynford leading by 4, and we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Brady Groves, and I sell Rico copiers for MT Office Products. Besides
WR Donnerworth Gymnasium at the 2-minute mark, it is 18-14. Wynford with a 4-point lead, and Jim, it's been a game of spurts.
That's right. Wynford has had 2, River Valley 1. We'll see what happens now after this River Valley timeout.
Let's see if Ginther is back in the ballgame. He's not. Ginther with 8 points leads the Vikings in the first quarter.
Royals using their matchup zone here.
An Axline posted way up high. Fetter looking to go inside. Nothing there as the Royals do a good job of denying Woodruff.
Tony,
Vikings showing good patience.
By looking at Axline, you'd think he'd be under the basket, but here he's playing the guard out front.
And there's a turnover as Woodruff loses it. Now Rodney Noblet to McGuire just inside the 3. He's got it. Max got 10, 20-14, a 6-point lead for the Royals, biggest one of the night. Less than a minute and 20 to play in this first quarter. Axline ahead to Brandstetter. He's got Woodruff underneath the basket, but great defense by the Royals, and it's last touch by Woodruff. Mike McGuire came hustling in to knock the ball loose.
Well, you can tell McGuire wants this game bad tonight. He's all over the floor, both offense and defense. I thought maybe Coach Freischauer would come up with defense after the timeout. We certainly have 2 of the top area coaches here in this game tonight, Coach Sheldon and Coach Freischauer.
Substitutions, Phil Crosso comes back in for Rob Sheldon, and Ginther checks back in for Steve Freischauer. Well, the Vikings are leading the conference in defense, giving up just 54 points a game, while the Royals are the top offensive team, scoring 79 a game. McGuire for 3. Loses, it wasn't there, but Rob Gregory was there for the follow-up.
That was an air ball, really, but went right into Rob Gregory's hands. Very alert.
22-14, less than a minute to play in the first quarter. Wynford up by 8. Brandstetter to Fetter. And across court to Ginther for steps inside, dishes off to Brandstetter underneath. He misses it. McGuire with a rebound. Less than 30 on the clock. Mack dribbling around, spots Gregory. Oh, rejected by Woodruff. Nice defense by the Viking. Now Fetter, too hard, and he throws it away.
Now we'll see if Coach Sheldon goes for the last shot as he brings in Matt Johnson.
And let's see who Matt will check in for. Probably one of the big guys. We'll see. Comes in for Rob Gregory. The final home game of the season for the Royals. Johnson dribbling around, double team, gets it to McGuire, looks at the clock, puts it up. It's off the mark. The rebound to Axline as the first quarter comes to an end. It has been a good one for the Wynford Royals. As you see our score after 8 minutes, 22-14 as they lead River Valley by 8. And Jim and I will be back after this timeout.
Hi, I'm Brady Groves, and I sell Rico copiers for MT Office Products.
Up to our regularly scheduled programming.
You are Donnerworth Gymnasium along with Jim Bauer. I'm Tony Santana. Good to have you along with us tonight for high school basketball on TV 54. Wynford and River Valley, the Royals lead the Vikings by 8, 22-14. First quarter scoring, McGuire had 10, Noblet 6, Crosso 2, Grove 2, and Rob Gregory had 2. For the Vikings who have the ball, it was Mosher for 2, Woodruff had 2, Ginther had 8, and Axline had 2. There's Fetter. He thought about pulling the trigger from 3, thought better of it. Ginther inside to Axline. His turnaround isn't there. He follows it up and puts it in. So Mike Axline with 4 points in the ball game, 22-16. That breaks the dry spell for the Vikings, Jim.
The Vikings may have to hit a few from outside because now the Royals are packing in with their matchup zone defense. Now it looks like the Vikings have a chaser on McGuire.
ShaneGrove with a strong move, can't get a shot to go. Axline with a rebound, looking for a guard to get it to. And there's Adam Fetter as he holds up the number 2 to Brandstetter. Back to Fetter, out front to Axline. Ginther thought about pulling the trigger from 3. And Brandstetter nearly lost it. Axline chased it down. Brandstetter from the corner. He's got it. Cliff Brandstetter with his first 2 of the ball game. 22-18. The Vikings back to within 4.
Both coaches doing a good job of making 3 substitutions here in the first half. Keep the troops well rested for the last quarter.
Chris Fillions checks in for River Valley. Johnson to Crosso. And it's knocked away by Ginther. He has played a whale of a ball game at the other end. Misses the shot, though, and I think he hurt his knee, Jim, coming down on that. He's limping. McGuire in the lane. Oh, my. I don't know how he got that one to fall, but watching Mac for the last couple of years, he kind of...
It was a great running jump shot that time by him. I think the official wants a temporary timeout.
Well, you can see number 30 if we zoom in. That is Adam Ginther at the River Valley bench. He came down hard on that knee. Is talking to his coach, Steve Freshour. Boy, that could be a big loss for them tonight, Jim.
Yes, it could. I suppose they probably try to get some ice on it right now and let him rest for a couple of minutes.
24-18. McGuire has 12. Now, Fetter dribbling around. Fillions.
You know, Tony, once the Vikings set up there, they are pretty patient in moving the ball around half court.
Well, the one thing in talking to Freshour this week, Jimmy said one of the things he wanted to do with his full court defense was create some turnovers, and so far the Royals have handled it marvelously. Mosher comes up with the loose ball from the free throw line, rolls around and comes out. Grover with the rebound, ahead to McGuire. McGuire over Fillions, it's short, and it's Axline with a rebound, just threw it away. Mack with a pass to Crosso, he draws a foul on Fetter, he'll go to the line shooting 2. Good play by the Royals.
Yeah, great pass that time by McGuire. Yeah, we'll see if Crosso can come up with the 2 free throws now.
You know, Jim, we've seen a number of Wynford games, but this is one of the intensest we've seen them this year.
It certainly is. They have great intensity, and I think they want to try to take the title tonight by themselves.
They also want to break that home court jinx. Phil is a little bit too hard on his first attempt. He'll get another one. Steve Gray checks in for the Royals as Matt Johnson comes out.
Looked like Adam Ginther got up and moved his knee that time on the River Valley bench.
Well, Crosso splits the pair. He's got 3, 25-18, a 7-point lead for Wynford. Now Fetter to Woodruff, to Axline in the corner. Inside to Woodruff, the turnaround in the paint. He misses it. Mosher with a nice job on the offensive board. Gets the follow-up.
Mosher that time just ripped the ball away from Crosso. Very good offensive rebound that time.
25-20, 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Crosso, they're going to call him for the walk.
Right, he moved his pivot foot, Tony. It was a good call by the official that time, John Gurney.
John, one of the better ones in the area. 25-20, River Valley with a chance to cut into that lead right here on this possession. Axline, back to Fetter. Last touch by the Royals, so River Valley gets it back. McGuire nearly came up with another steal.
That's right. Both teams are doing a good job of the press, and both teams are handling each other's press pretty well.
Off the inbounds, Woodruff to Axline. There's Fillions to Axline just inside the 3. He'll put it up and knock it home. That's twice tonight he's done that, Jim.
Right, he's just a junior also.
25-22, it's now a 3-point lead for the Royals. McGuire puts it up. Got 2 more.
Well, McGuire's been almost unstoppable here in the first half tonight on his outside jump shots.
14 points for him, Jim. Woodruff wasn't sure what to do with it that time. Crosso with it.
Good defensive play that time by Phil Crosso.
Now Rodney Noblet back the other way. Steve Gray to McGuire. McGuire unloads again. He's off the mark this time. Crosso Grove nearly had the offensive rebound. He couldn't control it, and Axline comes up with it. 3:45 to go in the second quarter. 5-point Wynford lead. Fetter for 3. He's got it.
There's the outside shooting we said that the Vikings needed. Their Fetter drilled it home.
And it gets the Vikings to within a deuce. 27-25. Gray from the left corner off the mark. We got a foul away from the ball, and it's going to be on Phil Crosso. That's number 2 on Phil.
That ball was hard to rebound that time, Tony, because it was kind of an air ball. Didn't hit the rim.
You know, Jim, we only have 2 team fouls on both of these teams, and it's been a very well-played first half.
Very, very well. One of the best played games we've seen thus far this year in this first half. Both teams are playing excellent, playing good offense, playing good defense.
Now Mosier back into the hands of Fetter. Fetter's got 3 points in the ball game. 27-25. There's Axline in the corner. They're going to have to respect his outside shooting ability. Fillions to Mosier, cross court to Fetter. He tried to go inside, knocked away by McGuire, but right back to Fetter.
Fetter wanted to hit Axline that time, but he'd moved out of the corner.
Fillions for 3. He's off the mark. And Greenick with a rebound. McGuire will push it up the floor for the Royals. Down low to ShaneGrove. Nice move, but he can't buy a bucket tonight. Mosier with the rebound. Triple team, loses it. Noblet's got it. To Steve Gray. To McGuire. Battle for the loose ball, and it's controlled by the Vikings. And a foul on McGuire for tripping. That was obvious, Jim.
Yeah, the ball loose, and he smiled a little bit. He knew it. Kicked just a little bit.
Max got a grin from ear to ear on that one.
He doesn't foul very often, but he knew he did that time.
Substitutions. Woodruff comes out. Adam Ginther checks back in for Steve Freshour. And for the Royals, Matt Johnson checks back in. Ginther to Axline, back to Fetter. Vikings showing real good patience in this half-court offense, Jim.
Ginther's living just a little bit, but the longer he sits on, the worse it'll probably get.
Got to play it off. Fillions for 3. He's got that one. Chris Fillions, his first 3 points of the ballgame. River Valley has gone back on top by 1.
Valley's kind of playing a box and 1 now. Good screen set for McGuire that time.
But he misses a shot. And now River Valley with it. 28-27. They lead by 1. Fillions for 3 more. Hits the front of the rim. Long rebound. He gets it back. Puts it up and in.
Took advantage of the Royals' inability to rebound that time and came up with the extra bucket.
30-27. Matt Johnson will pull up for the J. Misses it. Greenick with the offensive rebound. That's no good. And the Royals have gone cold here. Here comes Fetter. Coast to coast. Ginther puts up the missed shot.
There's a big spurt for the Vikings now. They're cashing in on their missed opportunities and getting 2 or 3 shots. Now we get a good look at they're playing a triangle and 2 now. 1 on McGuire and 1 on Noblet.
Rodney Noblet, nice pass down low to Grover for 2.
Great assist that time by Rodney Noblet.
ShaneGrove's got 4 in the ballgame, 32-29. 50 seconds remaining in the first half. The Vikings may be content to play for the last shot. Mosier to Fillions. Back out to Adam Fetter. Axline over in the corner for 3. He misses it. Grover with the rebound. Ahead to Greenick, of all people. He's going to take... Oh, no. They got a calling for the walk out front. I missed that one, Jim.
I think he took the extra step there. Now we'll see if River Valley goes for the last shot. I don't think Coach Freshauer wanted Axline to pull the trigger on the last shot from the corner.
And you can see him barking out instructions to spread it out. So we'll see what they do here with 23 seconds left on the clock in the first half. 32-29, Vikings with a nice comeback here in the second quarter.
Well, the Royals could afford a personal foul now because they're not in the 1-on-1.
Turnover. Wynford will get another opportunity with 6 seconds left. Let's see what they can do with it.
We'll see if the Vikings put on the full court press here this last possession. Looks like they will. 1-2, 1-1 press.
Noblet to Johnson. And it's turned over back to River Valley. So with 4 seconds left, they get another opportunity.
Back and forth and back and forth. That was good pressure defense for the Vikings. Now we'll see if they come up with the last shot.
Oh. Great defense by Matt Johnson.
That's right. He got even with him that time. Now we'll see if the Vikings end up with a triangle and 2 defense. See if McGuire tries to get it for the shot.
He's got it. Into the corner to Grove, and he's blocked as the buzzer sounds under the first half of play. River Valley with a big second quarter has taken a 3-point lead into the locker room, 32-29, and Jim and I will be back with the first half of stats and the second half of action after we take this time out.
Basketball returns to TV 50.
Welcome back to the W.R. Donnerworth Gymnasium, where our halftime score, River Valley 32, Wynford 29, in a very well-played first half by both these teams. Wynford jumped out to an 8-point lead after the first quarter, 22-14, but were outscored in the second quarter, 18-7. Therefore, River Valley opened up a 3-point lead at the break with a 32-19 advantage, and it was a 12-4 run by the Vikings in that second quarter that allowed them that 3-point lead. Jim, your first half thoughts?
Okay, that was one of the lowest scoring quarters we've seen Wynford have this year. In the second quarter, they only had 7 points. I think there's 2 reasons for it. First, they lacked the inside game in the second quarter, and secondly was their inability to rebound and box off, especially the last 3 minutes. River Valley got 2 or 3 shots there, and therefore they played excellent ball and came out on top at halftime.
And the Royals will get the ball as we open up the second half of action right in front of, at center court, I should say, Rodney Noblet.
We see ShaneGrove and Axline talking things over, basketball or football. And I think we'll see a triangle and 2 again. You'll see a man there on McGuire and 1 on Noblet. Fetter's guarding him on the other side.
Well, they've got Fillions on McGuire and Ginther. No, they've got Fetter on Noblet. Matt Johnson tried to go inside, and it was kicked by Axline. It'll be Wynford's ball. 32-29. What kind of adjustment do you think Coach Sheldon to make with this triangle and 2?
Right now, Tony, in a case like this, you're going to have some support from the other 3 players. They should be open, and they're going to have to hit a few jumpers.
Like ShaneGrove, who was blocked from behind by Woodruff. He'll go to the line shooting 2. Nice strong move to the basket, though, for ShaneGrove.
That's right, and this should open up the inside game somewhat for ShaneGrove and Phil Crossout.
That's only number 2 foul for Woodruff. First team foul in the second half on the Vikings.
Excuse me, Tony, but this has been an excellent played game so far. Very clean ball game. Neither team has fouled very much for playing full court defense.
Grover splits the pair, and the Royals are 2 for 4 from the charity stripe tonight. They cut it to 2, 32-30, full court pressure. McGuire with a steal. To Matt Johnson along the corner, drives inside, kicks down and around, and not there, but It is Phil Crossell with a follow-up on the ShaneGrove miss. And we're all tied up at 32. The 7th time this ball game has either had a tie or a lead change. 7-11. Now Fetter double teamed at half court. Royals nearly come up with another steal. Fetter.
That's a strong inside game probably that Coach Sheldon talked to him at halftime about.
Fetter to Axline in the corner. Back to Fetter. He's looking to go inside to Woodruff. They get the lob to him. Back out. And Fillions misses. We got a foul, I believe, on ShaneGrove as Woodruff got the rebound. And that's who it is going to be on ShaneGrove. That's his first, team's first here in the second half. 6:48, we're all tied up at 32. Now Fillions. Fetter to Axline in the corner. Back to Fetter. Fillions had 5 points in that second quarter as he aided in the River Valley run. Ginther for 3, rolls around and comes out. Grove with a big rebound. Long pass ahead to McGuire. To Matt Johnson, to Crosso, to Rodney Noblet. Now the Royals will set up the offense. Crosso from 16. He misses it. McGuire keeps it alive. He'll pull up for 18. It's short. You can see that one. And Woodruff with the rebound ahead to Fetter. Here come the Vikings. Pulls up, has it blocked. But Axline chases it down. Still 32 all with 5:47 to play in the third quarter. There's Axline from the corner. He could shoot from the outside for big guy, Jim.
Oh, he's got a nice touch on the ball, Tony. That's at least 3 from the outside that he shot. Seems like the Vikings have the ability to control the ball a little bit more this evening. They're a little bit more patient than the Royals in passing the ball around offensively.
34-32. There's McGuire. It's off the mark again. He chases down his miss. Underneath to Crosso. And I believe he's going to get fouled from behind. Maybe Adam Ginther. We'll wait and see. And it is on Adam. While we get a minute, we'll run down the first half scoring for the Royals. It was Mike McGuire with 14 points, 10 of those coming in the first quarter. Rodney Noblet had 6, all 6 coming in the first quarter. Crosso had 3, ShaneGrove had 4, and Rob Gregory had 2. While for the Vikings, Greg Mosher had 4, Jay Woodruff 2, Ginther had 10, 8 of those in the first quarter. Brandstetter had 2, Adam Fetter had 3, Axline had 6, and Chris Fillions came off the bench to hit for 5. Crosso now at 6 points, looking for 7. Last touch by River Valley, so the Royals get a break as Crosso splits the pair to make it a 1-point ball game, 34-33. Vikings on top, 34 by 1, I should say. Matt Johnson with it. McGuire tried to use the screen. There's Noblet for 3. He's got it.
That was really an assist by McGuire that time. Threw the ball cross court to Noblet, who was wide open on the other side.
Royals regain the lead, 36-34. Noblet with 9 points. The 8th time this ball game that there has been a tie or a lead change. Nice pass inside to Woodruff in the lane. Turnaround isn't there. Good defense by the Royals. Now Greenick ahead to Johnson, to McGuire. Oh my!
Good defense that time to the Vikings, but better offense, and I think Coach Feshire wants to call a timeout before it gets out of hand.
Well, I don't know how Mike McGuire made that shot, but he did. 4:45, timeout on the floor with the Royals overtaking the Vikings 38-34, and we'll be back. 34, you think that was a good timeout by Coach Feshire, Jim?
Yes, he definitely didn't want the lead to build up to double digits, and we talked a timeout. It looks like River Valley is just as quicker than Wynford, but they're a little bit more patient passing the ball around, and I don't think they want to get into a great up-tempo running game with the Royals.
Now we've got Fetter with the ball, and McGuire knocks it out of bounds. Good defense by Rodney, quick hands. River Valley will get it back underneath their own basket.
Are you surprised at the scoring so far? We thought it'd be a little higher than this.
I thought both teams would want to be in the up-tempo game, but Vikings are doing a good job of playing that half-court offense here, Jim. Woodruff with the lob down low. Into the hands of Ginther, off the glass and in. Nice play by Adam Ginther. He's got 12.
He's still limping a little bit. I believe his knee bothers him somewhat.
And Roddy Noblet slipped as he tried to make a cut, loses the ball, goes back to River Valley on the turnover.
So they'll have a chance this time, the Vikings will, to either tie up or go ahead.
This ball game may come down to who has it last.
That's right, last possession. One thing, the Vikings have not put the Royals at the foul line much this evening.
And conversely, River Valley has only gone to the free throw line twice. Fetter to Axline, back to Fetter.
As long as Wynford stays in that zone, River Valley can pass it from the outside.
Oh, and Crosso tried for the long pass and hits the bottom of the backboard. And Axline was a benefactor as he gets the easy two. All tied up for the 9th time. Johnson with a miss. Woodruff with a rebound. And now River Valley, after the timeout, they have scored 4 straight. Now Wynford gambled there out front, couldn't come up with anything. Brandstetter for 3. No, they give him 2. Awfully close. But the Vikings regain the lead.
Tony, the Royals are really having problems now with that triangle and 2. The other 3 players have got to pick up the slack.
And not only that, Jim, they're double teaming every time they get the ball. There's Greenick, strong move in the lane, miss. Crosso has it stripped away by Adam Fetter. Now back the other way, Ginther is going to get called for the walk.
Vikings had a golden opportunity that time.
So did the Royals.
Yes.
ShaneGrove was going to come back in for Phil Crosso. 40-38, 2:59 to play in the 3rd quarter. Greg Mosher checks back in for Adam Ginther.
Now we get a good shot here again of the 2 Vikings on McGuire and Noblet.
They set the screens for him to free him up. Grover, Axline knocks it out of bounds. Wynford will get it back underneath their own basket. Good defense by Axline.
Yeah, the great defensive play by Axline that time on Grove. See what the Royals do on their out-of-bounds play now.
Out front to Matt Johnson. To McGuire. Blocked by Woodruff. Out of bounds, and Wynford has had problems getting any shots off.
Right, the Vikings are playing great defense now. They had that play smelled out.
Now you see why they lead the league in defense. Johnson misses a shot. Greenick with a rebound, up and in. Nice job by Ray Greenick. His first 2 points of the ball game, and it ties it up at 40.
The Royals need some offense from Ray Greenick and Matt Johnson and ShaneGrove now.
Mosher, nice drive in the lane. He is hammered by Greenick, so he'll go to the line for 2. That's the first foul for Ray. 2nd team foul on the Royals here in the 2nd half. We're all tied up at 40, 2:21 in the 3rd quarter. Mosher's got 5 on the night. River Valley a perfect 3 for 3 from the charity stripe. Make it 4 for 4. 42-40. Vikings up by 2. Now Matt Johnson dribbles around. There's Rodney Noblet. Johnson back to McGuire, being guarded by Brandstetter. Double team now. Cross court to Johnson. To Grover down low. Back out. Into the hands of Rodney Noblet. Turnover by the Royals. Vikings get it back, and great defense by them in this 3rd quarter. Mosher misses a shot. It's Grove with a rebound, and Matt Johnson looking up the floor. Gets it to McGuire. They double team him. Greenick down low to Rodney Noblet. Pulls up from 18. He knocks it home. That's a big basket for the Royals, Jim.
Right, they really needed a little spark here for their offense in the 3rd quarter.
42-42. 13th time tonight these two have either been tied or had a lead change. Brandstetter for three. Oh my, was he out?
Well, that left hand of his is very true to form this evening.
42-45, Vikings back up by 3. Less than a minute to play in this third quarter. McGuire double team, back out to Rodney Noblet, back to Mack. Dribbles around, looking to go down low to Greenick. Soft touch, he's got 2 more. Ray Greenick with 4 points in the quarter. 44-45, River Valley with a 1-point lead. Less than 30 seconds to play in this third quarter. It's been a great ball game, Jim.
Yes, I imagine they'll go for the last shot now.
Woodruff gets the easy 2.
I think that River Valley has played the best defense on Wynford this year.
And Grover misses back the other way. Last touch by River Valley. Break for the Royals. 13 seconds left in the quarter. Royals trailing by 3. And Woodruff knocks it out of bounds.
Great hustle that time by Woodruff. Grove was open for just a second. Now they'll get in front of him this time so that doesn't happen again.
Noblet to Grover. Blocked by Axline. That's twice in this quarter that he has rejected a ShaneGrove offering. Now they go way out to McGuire.
McGuire will probably go 1-on-1 for the last shot.
He pulls up for the jumper. It's off the mark. Johnson keeps it. Grove at the buzzer doesn't go, and we have played 3 quarters of high school basketball here from the W.R. Donnerworth Gymnasium. And the River Valley Vikings to the W.R. Donnerworth Gymnasium along with Jim Bauer. This is Tony Santana. 47-44. The visiting River Valley Vikings lead the home team Royals by 3. In what has been a back-and-forth ball game, Jim.
Been an excellent game, especially defensive. We thought it'd be higher scoring this, but it's been a great defensive ball game, especially by River Valley.
Now, the Royals haven't done too bad a job either on defense. River Valley came into this game averaging 69 points offensively. Oh, Woodruff with a near excellent play, but he couldn't get the reverse to go. Now Axline chases down that loose ball back at the other end of the floor. Woodruff inside to Mosier. Nice play. He's got 2.
Good percentage shot that time by Mosier.
49-44. McGuire, he's got 3. It's crunch time. He pulls the Royals back to within 2. Axline double teamed out front. There's Mosier on the left wing. Goes down low to Axline, turnaround along the baseline. I don't think Axline has missed a shot. He did miss one. I take that back.
Got a great touch on the ball tonight, and I don't even think he started the game, Tony.
51-47. He's come off the bench to do a great job. Matt Johnson with a force inside, and Axline steals it away. Now Fetter drives in, puts it up, doesn't go. Woodruff with the offensive rebound. And we got a foul on Greenick that'll put him at the free throw line shooting 2.
And I think Coach Sheldon wants a timeout, which will be Wynford's first.
And at the 6:40 mark of the fourth quarter, it is a timeout on the floor by the Wynford Royals. They trail by 4 to the River Valley Vikings, 51-47, and we'll be back.
For over 125 years, First Citizens National Bank of Upper Sandusky has served Wyandotte and surrounding counties. Known as the Old Reliables on the Square, this community-oriented institution offers all the big bank services. Now and Super Now accounts, simple interest.
Timeout as we get a good shot of the Wynford Royals bench and head coach Rob Sheldon. They want the North Central Conference Championship outright, but they trail by 4, 51-47. As I said, a River Valley win tonight, coupled with a Riverdale win, could create a 3-way tie for the North Central Conference Championship.
That's right. That could very possibly happen. As we look over at River Valley's bench, Fetter, their good guard, went over there and sat down. He's limping very badly. That could be a blow to the Vikings here in the last quarter if he's unable to return.
And Woodruff with his 5th point of the ball game. He's at the free throw line shooting 2. In to replace Fetter is Mark Bollinger, a 5'8" junior, wearing number 10.
Tony,
He makes them both.
This has been a game of spurts. This time it's the spurt of the Vikings that placed them in the lead here.
53-47. Grove underneath. Turnaround isn't there. Axline with a rebound to Bollinger. A 6-point River Valley lead. They try to go inside. There's a turnover. Rodney Noblet pushing the ball up the floor. Coast to coast with the left hand. It doesn't go, but he draws a foul.
A great drive that time by Rodney Noblet down at the other end of the floor. That's one of the few turnovers that the Vikings had this half. Pass was too low into the pivot.
Rodney with 11 points after 3 quarters. Looking for his 12th here from the free throw line.
This is about the first time he's been to the foul line this evening, isn't it, Tony?
It is.
And has McGuire been there yet?
Nope.
Well, this could have been
excuse me, Jim.
This could have been a game plan of Coach Freshar, trying not to put the 2 Royals guards at the foul line.
Rodney makes them both, makes it a 4-point ball game, 53-49. There's a full court pressure. Now Bollinger to Axline. Well, the big guy can put it on the floor as well.
Right, he can help break the press.
Mosier in the lane. Offensive foul. Will go back the other way.
I think that was a good call that time. The official, Mike Davis, right there on the ball. Now we see Ginther coming back in. He's still limping, and Feder at the break there got up and ran down to the end of the gym and back. Vikings still playing that triangle in 2.
Rob Gregory into the ball game for the Royals. Phil Crosso to Rodney Noblet. He unloads. It's off the mark. Rob Gregory with a rebound, back up and in.
The time Rob Gregory rebounded the weak side of that triangle.
Now Bollinger to Axline. Surprised to see the big man in the backcourt for them, handling the ball as he has.
Well, he helps a lot because the guards, Feder and Bollinger now, are very small. They're only about 5'8".
5:26 remaining. Woodruff, nice pass down low, but the shot doesn't go for Ginther. 53-51. Royals with a chance to tie or take the lead. Here's the 3. Comes out. Axline is fouled by ShaneGrove. That'll be the 4th team foul on the Royals here in the second half. Second one on Shane.
Undoubtedly, the Royals will keep this full court press on the Vikings the rest of the game, or 1-2-1-1, or a diamond press.
Now Brandstetter just back into the ball game, gets it, pulls up for the jumper, misses. Crosser with another rebound into the hands of McGuire. Here's when the Royals are dangerous, is when they're on the run. Grover inside, nice move around Axline that time. He says you're not going to swat this one away. We're all tied up.
That time ShaneGrove got even with Axline and just drove the baseline, laid it up.
Woodruff off the miss. That one doesn't go. Brandstetter, oh my, and it's stripped away by Crosso. Here come the Royals. McGuire for 3. Count it!
Now Tony looks for the crowd to take over. Coach Freshar might want to take a timeout.
And he does at 4:32 of this 4th quarter. The Royals have chipped away and regained the lead, 56-53. Jim and I will be back.
My brother just did something very smart.
4.5 minutes remaining in this ball game in what has been a game of spurts. 56-53. The Wynford Royals trailed by 3 going into the 4th quarter. They now lead by 3.
Well, that last spurt, Tony, put the home crowd into this game now. Vikings still are taking their time, though, bringing the ball up the floor. They'll probably work it around for a good shot.
It's been a 9-point run. Good defense, and we got the 5-second violation as Bollinger had nowhere to go.
It was great defense that time by the Royals. They forced the Vikings into a 5-second count.
And now Fillions is going to check out of the ball game, and Fetter comes back in with a slight limp.
The Vikings are still staying with the triangle and 2.
I see, well, Coach Sheldon has Rob Gregory, and he can unload from the outside. Grove with a miss. Crosso with a follow-up. Oh, it doesn't go. But he'll go to the line shooting 2 as Axelon commits the personal. That would have been a big basket had that one gone, Jim.
Right. That could have been a possible 3-point play.
Phil with 6 points on the night, looking to add to that total. That's what makes it even worse.
That's right. He left that one just a little short. He had the right spin on it.
Second one through the net. Give him 7. 57-53, a four-point lead. And now we got a foul in the backcourt.
And ShaneGrove was guilty of reaching in on Fetter.
And that's 5 for team fouls on the Royals, so both teams now in the bonus situation. Adam Fetter has not made a trip to the free throw line so far tonight. River Valley has done an excellent job from the free throw line tonight, Jim.
They have been shooting 100%. I don't know what it is now.
It still is 100%. Ginther with a big rebound off the miss from Fetter. 57-54. Now Fetter to Brandstetter. Inside to Ginther. He's going to get called for the walk. Shuffled his pivot foot that time, Jim.
Yes, he did. That was a big turnover to really hurt the Vikings. And, you know, looking at the program here, Tony, as Wynford comes down with the ball, the Vikings are a rather young team. There are many juniors on this team.
You know, we talked earlier about the comparisons as Rob Gregory unloads for 3. It's off the mark. McGuire with a rebound. He's fouled by Woodruff. That's number 3 on Jay. And that'll put McGuire at the free throw line for a 1-and-1. We talked earlier about the similarities or the contrast between the two teams. Last year it was the Royals who were the younger team and the Valley Vikings who were the more experienced team. This year the roles are reversed. McGuire has 22 on the night so far.
McGuire leaped well that time for the rebound. Just straight, outright athletic ability that time.
Less than 3.5 minutes to play in what has been a dynamite ball game so far. 58-54. Royals with a 4-point lead. Make it 5 as Mack hits them both.
The Royals are making their spurt at the right time.
59-54. Last touch by Moser to go back to the Royals.
Great pressure defense that time for the Royals right here in front of us. Forced a turnover. Now we'll see what the Royals set up on their out-of-bounds play.
McGuire has to go out to Gregory. Back to McGuire. And he says set up the offense. To Gregory in the corner. Down low to Grove. Turn around in the paint. Off the glass for 2.
But Grove is really fired up now. He wants the ball in the paint.
61-54, a 7-point lead for the Royals. 3 minutes to play.
This is probably the biggest lead of the game, isn't it, Tony?
With the exception of very early in the ball game, when they led by 8. Woodruff, and they're going to whistle ShaneGrove for a foul. That'll put Jay to the free throw line for 2.
That probably is the 4th foul on ShaneGrove. Vikings desperately need a couple of points here.
Ginther's going to come back into the ball game. Brandstetter will come out. I believe that's number 3 on Grove, Jim.
Okay. Both teams have used their bench very, very well this evening.
We talked about that earlier in the ball game.
That was a little dry spell there for the Vikings. They finished it with a foul shot there. Woodruff, just a junior also.
A good-looking junior at that. He's got 8 points.
And we'll probably see going to say we haven't seen the half-court press yet, but that's because they're playing a triangle and two. It's pretty difficult to do.
And there's Gregory with a walk.
That has a costly turnover. It's what we call an unforced turnover.
The Vikings are 9 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. They trail by 5, 61 to 56. Coming up on the 2.5-minute mark of this fourth and maybe final quarter. Fetter being pressured by Gregory. Woodruff back out to Axline. To Ginther from the baseline. Nice shot by Adam Ginther for two.
Boy, that was a big basket for the Vikings that time by Ginther. Brought them back within 3.
61-58. Coming up on 2 minutes to play. McGuire to Gregory, back to Mack. Gregory, they're not even looking down low, Jim.
Well, that's the reason for that, Tony, is that the Royals now are playing a 4-corner offense, and we'll see if the Vikings counter that with a half-court trap.
Rob Gregory comes out. Matt Johnson back in.
Coach Sheldon wanted to get another guard in. They'll try to run this 4-corner offense, as we call it.
Nearly another turnover for the Royals. Noblet to McGuire. They'll look for the back door on this. Mack to Johnson. Back to McGuire. Minute and a half to play. They're milking the clock, and there's a foul out front on Ginther. That's the guy you want at the free throw line if you're a Royals fan, Mike McGuire.
The Royals are milking the clock now. They probably will do that the rest of the game unless they get an absolute clear lay-in.
And even those aren't too sure anymore, Jim.
That's right. So I imagine Coach Sheldon will tell them, keep it out and use that 4-corner offense. Well, Wynford has 3 timeouts left yet, and River Valley has 1.
And I think Steve Freshour, the head coach for River Valley, is waiting for the most opportune time. He doesn't want to waste it too soon. McGuire has them both. 26 points for Mack, just 2 shy of his average. 63-58. Crosso came up with a near steal. Ginther is going to get the easy 2 back the other way. Ginther has 16 points, 63-60. Just a little over a minute to play. Noblet back into the hands of McGuire. To Rob Gregory, back to Mack. Down low to ShaneGrove. He's fouled by Woodruff. That'll be number 4. And ShaneGrove will go to the free throw line shooting 2 with 1:01 on the clock.
Probably a pretty good foul by the Vikings that time, but it stopped because it stopped the clock.
ShaneGrove did a good job of getting Woodruff up in the air, went underneath him, and then drew the foul that way.
Right, as long as the River Valley stays in a triangle and 2 defense, it's pretty hard to double team off of that. That was a big foul shot there, Tony, because that made it a 4-point advantage.
Crosso with it. The basket goes!
That might be the biggest basket of this season for Crosso so far.
There you see the guy that committed it, Axline. It is now a 66-60 ball game with 59 seconds left. Phil Crosso at the free throw line looking to convert on a 3-point play. That was a very big basket, Jim.
Certainly was. They didn't box him off that time. He got the rebound.
But he misses a free throw.
Valley now will have to have at least 2 or 3 possessions in order to tie it unless they get 2 3-pointers.
Woodruff, strong move in the lane. Turnaround, rolls around, comes out. Grove had it, and they're going to say it was last touched by River Valley, so Wynford with a break gets the ball back underneath the Viking basket.
Tony, that should just about do it. I think the Vikings now will have to foul immediately if they do not get the interception.
And they'll try to deny McGuire, see if they can get it in the hands of Crosso. He's the guy they'd want to foul. Steve Freshour has brought in his guards, his three shooters, three-pointers, I should say. There's a foul on Adam Ginter. That'll put Mack at the free throw line. But Jim, for the last 5 years, the visiting team between these two has come away victoriously. Wynford leads the series 16-9.
This year it looks like this might be changed. If McGuire can at least make one of these, it may be over with.
This may be the icing on the cake, Jim.
I think you're right, Tony. The way he's performing tonight, he'll undoubtedly make this one also.
By the way, congratulations to both Mike McGuire and Rodney Nablet for being selected to play in the News Journal All-Star Game. One of the best in the state. 68-60. Three-pointer by Woodruff is off the mark. Matt Johnson with it. He dribbled around, get it in the hands of McGuire. Oh, he loses it. Brandstedter's going to be the benefactor of that easy too. Now Matt Johnson, 20 seconds left. Rodney Noblet out front to McGuire. Nice pass to ShaneGrove. Basket counts. He'll go to the line.
Great assist that
They
time.
smell it. Let's get a shot of that. You can see the celebration as it begins here in the W.R. Donoward Gymnasium. They call it the House of Thrills, and that is why.
That was a great assist that time by McGuire. That pretty well should do it, Tony, although the game was a lot closer than what the final score is going to indicate.
As the chant goes up, NCC, it'll be theirs outright this year for the second straight year, as a matter of fact. Phil Crosso had a big hand in that. He comes out. And congratulations to Rob Sheldon. Marvelous job this year by the Royals. ShaneGrove's free throw attempt rolls around and comes out. It's Woodruff with a rebound, 70-62, but there's a steal by McGuire. He'll go to the free throw line to shoot two. Woodruff with the foul. That may be it for Jay.
The Royals are still pulling good pressure defense on. Tony, we may not see too many more years of great competition like this between River Valley and Wynford. When we think about it, it's kind of a shame in a way because the league is forming new members as of 1990, I believe.
You're right.
Not see this great rivalry anymore. It's been a great rivalry between the two schools.
And Rodney Noblet checks out of the ballgame. Rodney with 13 points. Nice job by Rodney. And once again, congratulations to him for earning a spot on the North Central Conference, or I should say the Mansfield News Journal All-Star Squad. I'm sure he'll make first team on North Central Conference as well. But Jim, last week Mike had his troubles at the free throw line. Tonight he is perfect 7 for 7.
He's got his confidence tonight.
Plus he's not shooting in front of an Eagles nest
That's
either.
Right.
There goes Mike. He's going to come out of the ball game. 30 points for McGuire. 72-62. Fetter for three. It's off the mark. Here's Jury from half court. It's over. The Wynford Royals are outright champions for the 1989 season. In the North Central Conference, they go a perfect 9-0. Congratulations to head coach Rob Sheldon and his players. A job well done as they staved off a very good River Valley team, 72-62. And we'll keep it right here and see what transpires. A little bit of celebration. And now the fun begins. Isn't that how the saying goes, Jim?
That's true. It's time to celebrate now.
The Royals with two more ball games left. Tuesday night they'll travel to Shelby. And then next Friday night, the big one against Lexington at the Minutemen's Gymnasium.
Well, Tony, those 2 games next week will certainly help the Royals stay sharp, regardless of the outcomes of the game, stay sharp for the upcoming tournaments.
72-62 is our final score. Jim and I will be back after we take this time out. Tony Santana along with Jim Bauer. And Jim, it was a game of spurts, no question about it tonight. Wynford led after one, 22-14. It was River Valley coming back in the second quarter to lead by 3 at the break, 32-29. They maintained that lead going into the fourth quarter, 47-44. But then the Royals won the all-important one, and they come out on top, 72-62.
That's right. It was surely an exciting ball game, Tony. We talked about it being a game of spurts and both teams using full court pressure defense. And you know, as we analyze it, Tony, I think maybe in the end, the Royals' pressure defense won out because they maintained it the whole game. And maybe the last 3 minutes, the Vikings just ran out of gas.
You're right. I think that's true. And I think they hit the clutch free throws. You remember last week against River Valley or against Colonel Crawford, they didn't hit those clutch free throws. This tonight they did, especially Mike McGuire. He was a perfect, I believe, 9 of 9 in that fourth quarter, 8 of 8 make that.
That's right, and you have to give the Vikings a lot of credit. They did play excellent defense, maybe up to the last couple of minutes, but that triangle and 2 really bothered the Royals the last half, and they had to make several adjustments to it. And finally, the inside play of ShaneGrove and Phil Crosso, especially that big basket off that missed foul shot by Phil Crosso. I thought that was the clincher right there in the last minute.
I think so, too. It certainly fired up the fans, and it fired up the ball club as well. Here are the final numbers. Mike McGuire, 30 points on the night, 13 for Rodney Nobble, Phil Crosso at 13, ShaneGrove at 10. Matt Johnson was held scoreless tonight. Ray Greenick had 4, and Rob Gregory added 4 as well off the bench. For the River Valley Vikings, who go to 7-2 in the NCC, they close up the season 16-4. Greg Mosier had 8, Jay Woodruff 8, Adam Ginther had 16, Cliff Brandstetter 9, Adam Fetter 4, Mike Axline 12, and Chris Fillions had 5. For the Royals, though, their third consecutive North Central Conference championship. They win it outright this year. No other team in, I believe, the conference history has been able to do that. They do it with a perfect 9-0 record. They go to 18-1 overall, just 2 games shy of what was their second goal, which was a 20-game season.
Right, and they really deserved this tonight. You could tell that the intensity was there the whole game, both offensively and especially defensively. And you have to give them a lot of credit.
I think one of the symbols of this Royals team is the business-like attitude that they have towards the game, and they come out, they know what their job is, they know what the task is, and they get it done.
That's right, and they did an excellent job of maintaining, as we said earlier, both the offense and especially the defensive end of the court, because it's tough to play a full-court press the whole game and not get in foul trouble.
Well, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have head coach Rob Sheldon with us as the Royals win it by a count of 72-62, their third straight North Central Conference championship. We'll be back. Sheldon, coach, for the second straight week, congratulations, and this one is very much sweeter because you win it outright this year.
Yeah, that's a real great thing for my kids, Tony. This is the first time we've went through the league undefeated since I've been here. We've won 4 or 5 league championships since I've been here, but this is the first time we've been through undefeated.
You showed a lot of intensity. It came out and built up an 8-point lead after one. They came out and switched to a triangle and 2, did a real nice job on both Mack and Rodney Noblet, and led after 3 quarters. But then in the fourth quarter, I thought it was your pressure defense that maybe made the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, we started out man-to-man, and we went to some zones when they started shooting a little bit poorly, and they went to the triangle, and we just stopped executing, Tony. We got in a hurry in the half-court sets, and we weren't setting good screens. And one of the things we talked about at halftime was slowing things down a little bit to get us, get the ball to the people that need to get it to. And the other thing we wanted to do was kick it indoors second half. We didn't feel like we played real well in the first half in the low post. We were out-rebounded on, according to our stats, 17-10 at halftime. And I'm not sure how many points Grove and Crosso got, but I think if you look at Grove, Crosso, Greenick, and Gregory in the second half, we outplayed their big kids in the second half.
The next thing was a contribution that Ray Greenick and Rob Gregory had off the bench for you tonight.
Yeah, they really did a nice job for us. We got down 6 early in the fourth quarter, and we inserted Robbie to give us a little bit more scoring and a little bit better passing angle into the low post. And Robbie did a nice job of filling that role. He did get a key offensive rebound and stuck it back in, and and plus he gave us a little bit of height in the defense, and that's where we went full court and got a few steals that just switched it over. And We made some foul shots. We're pretty good.
I was just going to say a big difference this week.
We're pretty good when we don't sit into all those good-looking students at Colonel Crawford. You know, Matt kept staring up at the one blonde, and that's probably why he didn't shoot it too
Well, he
well
always was off to the left there. Well, is this one any sweeter than the other ones that you have now, or is there any special reasoning for this one?
You know, I guess I'm getting old, Tony. We expected this when we came into the season. This was a veteran basketball team, you know. Goals were an NCC championship, a 20-win season, and, you know, some tournament success. So, you know, you really got to hand it to those 7 kids because we had nothing but pressure on us all year long because we were chosen by everybody to win. And, you know, to be chosen to do it and then go out and do it is a great accomplishment. And, you know, my kids deserve all the credit.
And I tell you, the one thing that Jim and I talked about, it was very businesslike. There wasn't a lot of fanfare about the way this team approached what you said your goals were.
We haven't done that all year long. You know, we are a reflection, in my opinion, of what the personality that Mike carries on the floor, and he's not that type. You know, I was pleased with the intensity. I thought it slacked up a little bit second quarter and part of the third quarter, but, you know, to come out on top by 10 is a nice feeling.
Well, congratulations once again. Now you have 2 big tests for you before the tournaments in Shelby and Lexington.
Yeah, I got my old buddy Steve, and we're going to see all kinds of Freilich defenses again, and then, of course, Lexington, probably the most talented team on our schedule. But, you know, we're just going to sit back and forget about it a little bit and concentrate on what Steve's doing on Monday. And, you know, it's tough to go to the dog pound and play, and he is one of the better coaches that we play. So, you know, we'll have to play very, very well to come out of there with a win.
I'm sure you'll be ready as well. Well, congratulations, Rob, once again, and to the rest of the Royals, 72-62, the 3rd North Central Conference Championship. This one, 2nd year in a row for the outright, and good things ahead for you guys.
Again this week, I know I say that every week, but it's true. So tonight we're going to take a look at some scores. Plymouth and South Central in the Firelands Conference as South Central wins the title outright, 85-78 in that ball game over Plymouth. And Phil Harris was there, hopefully if he gets done tonight, but you never know about Phil. We'll have highlights of that game. Also, Wynford and Lexington in a big ball game everybody was talking about earlier in the week about this one. 77-74, Lexington beats Wynford. Joe Blystone was there, and you'll have that story. Also tonight, Upper Sandusky upsets Willard, at Willard no less, 69-68. Tony Santana was there, and we'll have highlights of that game as well. Also tonight, Gallion and Bucyrus. Rusty Smith and myself covered that ball game. It was 51-51 with about 3 minutes to go in the ball game before Bucyrus finally did take over, and they win 68-56. That'll be our first segment coming up here shortly as the Gallion and Bucyrus highlights. And also tonight, Crestline almost picks up their 2nd win. They go double overtime before falling to Northmore 53-50. Phil Harris was there. All right, wait a minute. Phil Harris was at that game, so that means Jeff DeRocco was at the Plymouth South Central game, and I know Jeff will be ready. And then Phil has the Crestline highlights there, so I know Phil can't be every place. Well, I'll tell you what, we need a break right now, but first let's pay the bills. We got to thank the fine people at Hartley. Those scores tonight, it was Lorraine Southview over Mansfield Senior 71-69. Mansfield Madison tops Clear Fork 70-65. Oberlin beats Mansfield Malabar 67-63. It was Shelby over Tiffin Columbian 66-61. It was, of course, as I say, Gallion and Bucyrus 68-56 there. Ontario over Cardington 74-63. Northmore and Crestline 53-50. Northmore in double overtime. Monroeville 74, Crestview 64. Loudonville 58 to Northwestern 63, so Northwestern a winner there. Hillsdale 63, Mapleton 54. Also tonight it was Grace Baptist 50, Wayside Christian 33. Old Fort defeats Mohawk 54-53. It was Fremont Ross 53, Findlay 46. Riverdale and Buckeye Central win a battle. Buckeye Central playing some very good basketball here of late. At Riverdale, it was Riverdale 77, Buckeye Central 75. So a good ball game there for Buckeye Central. And Norwalk defeats Bellevue 82-76. In tournament play, some Marion County schools involved tonight. Down in Columbus, it was Hilliard 74, Marion Harding 48. Elgin loses to Olentangy 61-48 in a bit of a surprise there. And Pleasant defeated Mount Gilead 65-47. One other score, Arlington 69 and Bettsville 49. So that wraps up the scores. Now let's get to the highlights. And the first highlights we're going to have are with Rusty Smith, who joins me now. And Rusty and I tonight covered the Bucyrus and Gallion contest. 68-56 was the score in that one. And let's see, in that ball game, give us the wide shot. And on the scoreboard, a couple scores in particular that might be curious to you. Mount Gilead and Fredericktown. Mount Gilead 76, Fredericktown 73. That was a Tuesday night game because of tournament play this weekend. Of course, Mount Gilead tonight lost in tournament play to Pleasant 65-47. And also on the scoreboard was a Marion Catholic 58, Highland 56. That was a Tuesday game also, but I thought that's a pretty important game because that upset loss by Highland gave Ontario the opportunity to tie for the MOC championship, which they did tonight by beating Cardington 74-63. So a huge upset there as Marion Catholic upset Highland 58-56, and that gives a co-title to Ontario. So congratulations to the people in Ontario, which we do have a few viewers in the Ontario area. Well, as we say, a big ball game tonight at Lexington. A pair of 18-1 teams between the Royals and the Minutemen. They meet on the Minutemen's home floor. Joe Blystone was there for us. Joe joins me now, and looks like you had yourself a whale of a ball game.
Well, it was everything that it was cracked up to be as far as the publicity went. 2 18-1 teams, and it was probably the best ball game I've seen all year. Lexington, people from Wynford, some of them thought that Lexington would win. They did win, but Wynford really held tough, and they're going to be able to play with anybody in the tournament, and I look for them to go a long, long way in the tournament, all the way to Columbus, really.
The Lexington, there are three amigos that have been starting since they were sophomores, and the last 2 years they have beaten Wynford, and people thought that Wynford might have had a better team the last couple of years than what they did this year, although this year's team has turned out to be a terrific ball team. But still, Lexington had beaten them the last 2 years, and now this year, like you say, a lot of people, including Wynford people, saying, well, we're at Lexington, they've beat us the last 2 years, and they were talking 10, 12, maybe 15-point spread. And in fact, all the so-called experts, from the TF, from the News Journal, everybody picks Lexington, and from the looks of things, the so-called experts, might have, although they were right, might have been a little overboard by everybody going with Lexington.
Well, all those noises you might be hearing right now are the crystal balls breaking around around the area.
Without a doubt. I'll tell you what, let's go right to the highlights and we'll come back and discuss it.
Okay. Well, Lexington jumps out early. Jeff Hepner goes outside right here with the jumper, then gets inside. Nice tip-in basket coming up right here. Lexington's going to go up 8-2. But Phil Krasau is going to come back inside for the Royals. He's going to get the hoop right here. Now here comes Big Mac, Mike McGuire. He's going to bury a wing jumper, and that's going to cut the Lexington lead to 15-13 at the first quarter break. Hepner had 8 for the Minutemen in the first. McGuire only 2 for 8 field goals. Now in the second, Matt Johnson, ShaneGrove go 4 for 4 from the line. Wynford goes up 17-15. Right here, though, Tom Scholl buries a 3-point jumper. Minutemen go back up 1. Back and forth they go. Rodney Noblet, first field goal of the second quarter for Wynford. They lead 23-22. Now, Scholl again, 3-pointer on the way, hits nothing but net. Lexington goes up 25-23. Foul shooting keeps Wynford in the game in the second. They go 12 out of 14 from the line in the quarter. Rob Gregory hits these to tie the game 31-31 with 4 seconds left in the quarter. But watch this, after the free throw, Gregory buries it. Here comes the inbounds, here comes the outlet, here comes Jason Dials, lets it go off glass. Boom, baby, 34-31 at the half, Lexington. Here comes McGuire now. He opens up the third quarter foul line jumper, and then again, he gets the spin move right here. Little baby step, no walk. 35-34 Wynford. Now Hepner is going to get 2 of his 24 points inside. This puts Lexington up 1, and they'll never trail again. Hepner gets inside again, coming up right now, and it's going to go round and round she goes, and it's finally going to fall. Count the basket. He misses the free throw, but there's Scholl for the stick back. 44-37 Lexington. Wynford, they're going to need a recharge now, and we're looking for somebody to go to. How about you, Grover? He gets a rebound basket. Cuts to a Minutemen lead down to 7. Here comes Grove. Entry pass from McGuire. Cuts to a Lexington lead down to 5. But the Minutemen beat the buzzer again. Brian Thompson, just before the third quarter horn, hits for Lexington, 54-46. Now McGuire puts on a shooting show again and again and again for Wynford in the fourth quarter. He's going to rack up 18 fourth quarter points, but then Jason Dials is going to take over for Lexington at the end of the ball game. As you see, McGuire hit one more shot. He's going to go baseline here for one big play. That's going to put Lexington up 6. After another hoop, he's going to get the pass from Hepner, lays it in again. They go up 6 again. Right away, back comes McGuire. Off glass for luck. Bingo. 77-74. Wynford with a chance to win it right here at the end. Dials misses a free throw, Noblet on the rebound. Down court they come. McGuire gives it up. Here's Gregory in the corner. This can tie the game. Off the rim. And that spelled the end for the Wynford Royals tonight. Beauty of a ball game, though. 77-74.
Yeah, you look at that shot, the quarter ender by Jason Dials, a big three-pointer, and that's the margin of victory, 77-74. And you're talking quite a luck shot. And then also the offensive rebound off the missed free throw by Scholl turns out to be big as well. Of course, I'm sure there's a lot of things you can pick out for both teams, things like that. But those two plays in particular from the highlights that you show us.
Really, two big plays right there. Wynford had chances again and again during the game where they could have cut into the lead, and all of a sudden somebody makes a big play. Scholl, for example, on the offensive rebound. Hepner would get inside. He'd get a garbage hoop on an offensive rebound, and they just kept making runs, and Wynford would, and Lexington would just keep repelling them. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny. You talk about week 13 here. A guy named Jason makes the big plays for Lexington at the end of the half and at the end of the game.
And Dials is the guy that you really don't expect a whole lot from, because you hear so much about Rick Steele and Hepner and Scholl, and then it's Dials who comes up with a big basket, like you say, at the end of the game and at the end of the quarter as well. So obviously a very talented Minuteman ball team. Another player for them, they have their own Mike McGuire, who's not a bad ball player either, and does a lot of things well for them.
Right, leads the Ohio Heartland Conference in assists this year. Didn't even score a point tonight, but had a number of assists all throughout the game. Played a great floor game, very few turnovers for the Minutemen overall, and McGuire only 1 or 2 for the entire game. That's Mike McGuire from Lexington.
From Lexington, there you
right.
go. Let's run down the scoring totals real quick.
Okay, well, for the Minutemen, Hepner had 24. Scholl with the 2 3-pointers had 20, 10 of those in the second quarter. Dials had 16. 7 off the bench for Chris Smith, 6 for Brian Thompson, including the buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter, and 4 for Rastelli.
Okay, now did he play a whole game? He just had surgery on his nose because he suffered a broken nose in that fight with Madison. He had surgery. He had missed the last 2 or 3 games. I see. Obviously, he did play tonight, but did he play much? Was he a factor, or were they just working back into shape?
Looked like he was more working back into shape. Had a really rough night from the field. He was like 2 for 10 or 11 from the field. Shot just wasn't there, just a little bit short. His 2 baskets he did get were on fast break layups, but he's getting himself back into shape. He ran the floor well, so he should be ready come tournament time.
How about majority of the time? Did he play? Did he play a lot of minutes?
Played quite a bit of the ball game.
So maybe some Wynford defense might have been a key there as well. Obviously, you hold a guy down like that to 4 points, and that's a tremendous ball player. For Wynford, I see a big number beside Mike McGuire, which really doesn't surprise me when you say he had 18 in the fourth.
Right, always a big number next to Mike McGuire's name. Had 36 all totaled, but the first half he was held in check pretty much. Shot 4 for 13 from the field in the first half. Really got it cooking though in the fourth, where he got the 18 points and brought Wynford back into the ball game and actually gave him a chance to tie at the end. ShaneGrove, big night for Shane, had 16 overall. Phil Krasow had 7. Rodney Noblet had a rough night. Really didn't get the number of shots that he usually gets. Only had 7 points. Matt Johnson had 6, and Rob Gregory off the bench had 2.
Okay, now in the case of Noblet, was it a case of Lexington defense? They've been known to play some great defense, or was it just the fact that Wynford wasn't looking for him?
A little bit of both, really. It seemed like in the second half, Mike McGuire came out and looked like he had direct orders at halftime from Coach Sheldon. Get the ball up, you're the best shooter we have, one of the best shooters around. Start putting the ball up and putting the ball in the basket. And really, Lexington was doing a good job on Rodney in the first half, and he really didn't see a whole lot of the ball the entire game.
Rodney is a bit of a streak shooter. He's the kind of kid that Wynford's going to need, to go a distance in the tournament. A guy like Noblet's going to have to be a big performer, because somewhere down the line, like Colonel Crawford did, somebody's going to shut down McGuire, and then it's guys like Grove and Krasow. But I think in particular Noblet that's going to make a difference.
It's funny you mentioned that, because it seemed like tonight that Lexington's idea was to shut down Rodney Noblet and make things a little bit tougher on Mike McGuire. You really aren't going to turn off Mike McGuire, but you can make things difficult for him to really make him go out and earn his points. He got 36 tonight, but he really did have to go out and earn every one of them. And they turned Rodney Noblet's faucet off tonight. He really didn't have a chance to touch the ball very much at all.
Well, as it ends up, 77-74 Lexington. They now are 19-1, and we were talking about tournament time before we come on the air, and you're talking an awful tough sectional at Willard. As we said, Bucyrus, they play Fall Story at 8:30 on Tuesday. That first game is Lexington and Shelby. So at Willard alone, we have Lexington, who's the #1 seed, now 19-1, And then you look at the bottom bracket of that over there. You have teams like Norwalk, Upper Sandusky, and Malabar. And only one of those 4 teams is going to come out of there to move on to district play. And then the road doesn't get much easier in district because you got to figure you're going to meet up with Woolard, and then a good possibility of probably Bellevue, the way they've been playing. Bellevue or Clyde both playing decent ball. So you're looking at just an amazing district in a tough section at Woolard. So Lexington and Shelby, 6:30 on Tuesday. And of course, that's followed by Bucyrus and Falls Storia. Wynford, they got themselves a bit of an easy draw in the sectionals, at least. They played Mohawk in the first game, and they elected to play a game even though they were #1 seed. And if they win that game, they'll play Crestline before moving on to district play. So, a decent draw for them, sectional-wise. But Coach Sheldon is like that. He likes to play the extra game. No sense having them sit around and get still. He likes to keep them out there and keep them on the floor.
One thing the Royals may have to guard against is becoming a little overconfident or a little complacent with the draw they have all the way into the districts and farther on up the line. Looking at other teams from northwest part of the state that they may meet in Savage Hall at Toledo or at Bowling Green, there isn't a whole lot in Division III up there with the exception of maybe Gibsonburg that can really play with the Royals. So they have to guard against the overconfidence and the complacency, and I think they'll go to Columbus.
Okay, well, we got to get by Huron too. Huron's another team, really, knock on wood. 6'7" Jim Springer for Huron make a big difference. And if Wynford does well, they most likely will meet up with them unless Fro and company for the Eagles can possibly get by Ontario and knock them off. But hey, that's what tournament's all about. That we've seen tonight that some strange things can happen. We've seen Tuesday night when Marion Catholic, of all people, upset Highland. Obviously, who knows? In tournament time, it only takes 1 loss and you're gone. And we're going to see just exactly what happens. As far as they go, we'll be with them. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, like I say, hopefully they'll be in Columbus. And if that's the case, I'll give my wrestling tickets up for that night because we're going to Coliseum to see the Hulkster. But I'd rather be in Columbus, believe me. And that's the place to be on that night. Anything else?
Yeah, one thing I want to do. I promised this young lady I would mention her name on television tonight. Karen Long, Wynford, right. A junior at Wynford High School. It's the 13th week. Help me out with the stats and a little bit of the running scores tonight. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate it. And
that's it. People don't realize how much people have to help us out in order to make this successful. Tonight we've got a list of people that I want to thank, but also, like you say, nice job to Karen and all the other statisticians throughout, and Bucyrus as well. Rich Close tonight helped me out a big deal, and I'm sure the same could be said for guys like Phil and Jeff and everybody, because statisticians make our job a lot easier. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks again, Joe, last week, and we'll see what we can do as the season progresses. We'll go watch some tournament games at least. All right, thanks, Joe. Well, we're going to take you out of here again, and when we come back, we'll see who's ready, possibly Phil, maybe Jeff or Tony. We'll find out when we come back.
Heading up the Division III first-teamers is Wynford's all-everything Mike McGuire. All he did was lead the area in scoring with 28 points a game. He is also the second Royal in as many years to be named Player of the Year. Last year, it was Phil Gebhardt earning Division III Player of the Year honors. Shane Stuckman of Colonel Crawford joins McGuire on first team, along with Chris Morris of Ontario, Tony Heyman of Plymouth, and Big Jim Springer of Huron. Second team honors went to Jeff Bloomfield of Plymouth, while honorable mention honors went to Mike Zare of Crestline and Casey Smith of Mohawk, while Coach of the Year went to Joe Baylog of Ontario. He guided the Warriors to a second-place finish in the Mid-Ohio Conference. Division IV first team is headed up by Dennis Weiss of Tiffin Calvert. He was also named the Player of the Year in Division IV. Joining Weiss on first team is teammate Jeff Waltz. He had an outstanding season for the Senecas. Brandon Chandler of South Central, Scott Ratty of St. Joe's, and Will Meadows of St. Pete's. All first-teamers in Division IV. Second-team honors, Rod Bowerman of Seneca East. Honorable mention, Todd Yosick and Jay Forehand of Buckeye Central. Bert Morris of South Central, while Coach of the Year, no surprise here, Tony Mass of Tiffin Calvert. In his fourth year, Mass guided the Senecas to a 19-1 regular season record and the school's first ever Midland Athletic League championship.
And how did Jim Gregory of Norwalk celebrate his being named to the team? Well, he just went out and scored 40 points to tie a school record for points in a ball game in their win tonight. Well, big congratulations to Mike McGuire and Dennis Weiss for being named Players of the Year, and also to Tony Mass and Joe Baylog as Coaches of the Year. Outstanding there, and all the players being named to first, second, honorable mention teams. Congratulations there also. Well, the District 6 girls squad isn't quite as dominated by players in the 54 viewing area as the boys list is, but there's still a number of them, including Division III Player of the Year.
Heading the list of first-teamers in Division II is Port Clinton's Jackie Maddox. The senior sharpshooter was also named Player of the Year in Division II. Along with Maddox in first team is Willard scoring ace Tina Adams, Shelby's Tammy Nauman, Latrice Carter from Malabar, and Elisa Rafe-Snyder from Bellevue. Second team honors went to T.J. Felty of Shelby, along with Willard's Carla King, while honorable mention status was awarded to Heather Dennis of Shelby. The Coach of the Year in Division II is Doug Armstrong of Port Clinton. In Division III, heading the list there is Joelle Gottfried from Upper Sandusky. She led the Northern Ohio League in scoring and was also named Division III Player of the Year. Along with Gottfried on first team is Kathleen Ramsey of Wynford, Andrea Weininger from Mohawk, Amy Dillon from Clear Fork, and Kim Dibb of Edison. Second team honors locally went out to these players: Joelle Schaefer of Clear Fork and Shannon Imhoff from Ashland Crestview. Honorable mention status was awarded to Dawn Finnessy of Colonel Crawford. Finnessy ended up the Lady Eagles' leading scorer this year. Coach of the Year was Andra Bell of Upper Sandusky, as she guided the Lady Rams to a 16-4 regular season record. In Division IV, first team and Player of the Year honors were awarded to Krishna Myers from Danbury Lakeside. Joining Myers on first team is Jessica Studer from Buckeye Central, Kim Gibson from Plymouth, Colleen Kramer, Norwalk St. Paul, and Ann Hostler from Fremont St. Joe's. Only one local player earned second team status, and that was Brenda Rombach from Tiffin Calvert, while honorable mention honors went to Jenny Faith of New Riegel, along with teammate Kim Steyer, also from New Riegel. And the Coach of the Year was Gary Geller from Fremont St. Joe's. Geller guided the Lady Streaks to a very impressive 19-1 regular season mark.
Yeah, a very tough thing to put together. Also, thanks to the people out there, Alan Marszalak, the Mars Man, the sports czar, Chris Menzer. Those people run the board, and they make us look as good or as bad as they want us to look. And also cameraman Dan Johns, Jim Ray, Dave Evans, and a host of others throughout the season. Without them, we couldn't do it. And most of all, the personalities, and what personalities we have. Guys like Tony Santana and Rusty Smith, Joe Blystone, Phil Harris, of course yourself, Jeff, and also earlier in the season with Stephanie Calapi, Mike White, and Charlie Earl. Just a big thing. And of course, like we say each and every week when we close, the thanks to the also to all the people who watch and view it, and that makes it possible, makes it fun for us. Sponsors as well, Heartland. The 1170 West Mansfield Street. At Heartland, they care enough to take care of you, and the people at Pizza Hut, they also make portions of this program possible. And that's Pizza Hut in Mansfield, Bucyrus, Upper Sandusky, Guyan, and Marion. And I see Joe out there saying we're going to go home and eat some Pizza Hut pizza here shortly. And coaches that have been on, coaches who've been on the show, and also the people like Bill Rame last week. Anybody who's contributed, and I'm sure there's many people that I have missed. That we got to say a big thank you for. So Alan, you want to bring us back? Okay, from beauty to the beast. Okay,